You're starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, what up, though, people?
What up, though? Freddie Feldman.
I was getting ready.
Belly of the beast. Indianapolis. The Circle City for the Big Ten championship game between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Michigan Wolverines. Over here buffed out, ready to go for tip-off here shortly. Man, the semifinals couldn't have been more dramatic. Sparty, okay? I'll take Wisconsin, though. Time to eat some cheese. Go blue.
Oh, shoot. Bam, to the disc.
Hey!
We here.
What up, though, people, man? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. Yes, it is a victory show. Willie B, we got to get that music on, man. Put it at like
All right,
what?
play me some pimping, man.
Yeah.
Big Ten champs in the room, man. Come on.
Yeah, put that music down about -10, man. And we'll let it ride because we got some bars to spit about those University of Michigan Wolverines. Dusty May at tournament time.
Yeah.
That to me, I was like, you know what? I don't know where this team goes from here, but Dusty May usually has his teams ready around this time. And you know what? A 59-53 victory.
You love to see it.
Over
The difference a
those
weekend
stanky
makes, man.
Badgers.
It's amazing, bro. To turn around in just, 3 games that we've seen from this Michigan team, it's unbelievable, bro. I went into this tournament thinking they had absolutely no shot. And they come out, with the championship, bro. So got to give it up for Go Blue. Dusty May coached his ass off. And you got some good performances from your guys, man. The guys that you wanted to see go out there and perform.
Hey, look, it's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. We got KG on the desk today. Detroit's #1 draft pick on the desk for Flannel, who he had called out. He was like, look, guys, I'm sorry. I couldn't get out of this obligation. I can't,
Right.
I know you guys, hey, hold it down.
He tried to move it around. Didn't work.
You, bro. Doo-doo-doo-doo, all that, right? And then Michigan won. And you know what? I love this dog. I love this dog. What up, though, Flannel Sam?
Yeah.
I got a second. I got a few minutes before I have to.
Y'all thought he was going to miss this?
I got time today.
Y'all thought my man was going to miss today?
Visored up. I got Justin to my right.
That
He's in here
dude,
as
Justin
well.
in the
Two of the
building.
most excited people at the yesterday.
Let's go.
Hey, but I'll tell you what. I have never been more happy to be wrong. Did I think that this Michigan team had this kind of run in them? No. But they did. They flipped a switch, and now I'm feeling a lot more excited about them come NCAA tournament time than I did before the Big Ten tournament. And it's just crazy. Last year, 8-24 season. This season, Big Ten tournament champions. And I was finally happy on Selection Sunday. What a beautiful feeling.
Hey, what a beautiful feeling. And you know what? This was something we continued to talk about. And I know you were even talking about it in the group chat, Flannel Sam, about Dusty May during this time. And ultimately, a lot of these struggles were from the hustle points, the rebounds, where's your physicality? Where are you using your size more effectively? And this is where I was wondering, okay, where do they go from this if these players aren't going to do it? And it has to have come from a Dusty May. And that's where I wonder, to be a fly on that wall, to figure what he said to this team to get them so motivated, because they look like a different team in this tournament.
Well, I'll tell you what. The Purdue game, let's start with the Purdue game. That was the best game Michigan has played all year. An 18-point win. They shot over 50%. They played clean. They didn't turn the ball over. They played great defense on Trey Kaufman-Renn and Braden Smith, which is huge because statistically they were probably the best duo in the Big Ten, and Michigan relatively neutralized them. I know Kaufman-Renn got a lot of points, but on 24 shots. And also, Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden played really well. I mean,
Yes.
Danny Wolf, 18, 11, and 6 on 7 of 10 from the floor. Trey Donaldson woke up. More on him in just a second. Trey Donaldson woke up and had his most efficient game in a while to that point. Roddy Gale. How about Roddy Gale? Somebody that I talked a lot of crap about.
You did.
Played huge in that game. Played huge in the next game, which we'll talk about in a second. Unfortunately, went out early against Wisconsin. But, hey, that was the Michigan basketball that I thought that I was going to see more throughout the regular season. But they woke up just in time to beat a really good Purdue team handily.
Well, handily, man. Woke up just in time. You know what? We got a lot on this menu, too. I just want to make sure the people do know that. Chat family, as always, you all are the most important part of the WUW Crew production, so go ahead and smash that like button.
Smash that.
Honestly, the state of Michigan is running Big Ten basketball right now, and we do got a segment for those Spartans as well. And
Damn.
he is our family, JBSmooovv as well, so that's in the next segment.
Sad Sparty over there.
We got we got some TLB on the way as well, because we got to talk about one of your godsons, Tim Patrick. KG.
Yes.
And those Pistons, man. There's a lot of people who, despite the L to OKC, they actually came away really encouraged and fired up, especially after JB Bickerstaff's post-game comments, and we got that on the way too. But back to those Michigan Wolverines, man. Like, I'm looking forward to what Dusty May does as we talk about heading into now March Madness, because there's a lot of people who are saying, you know what, this first round matchup is not a gimme for them.
No, not
but
at all.
If we get the Michigan that looked very, very motivated that we got in this Big Ten tournament, that's one that I do believe can go into here and cause a little bit of trouble during March Madness.
No, absolutely. And I think the seeding is a little suspect. More on that later. But overall, you're just proud of this Michigan team and the way they fought, man, because like you said, I don't know what motivated them, but to me, all the motivation you needed was 2 weeks of just poor Michigan basketball.
Look at yourself.
Yeah, just look at yourself, man. That's one of them. The coach just go in there, turn it on. Hey, just watch this, bro. And when you get to practice, we'll see what it's hitting for. But no, this team, they needed to turn it around, bro, because they have been overall a very scrappy team all year. They've won a lot of one possession games, and they've went out there and competed offensively, and they were more physical defensively. But over the last 2 weeks, you kind of saw that start to falter. There was no energy. They weren't crashing the boards. They weren't being as physical in the low post. Guys getting second chance points on them like crazy.
Despite having size advantages.
Exactly. 2 7-footers is no excuse for that. And then Trey Donaldson, he was a no-show. Roddy Gale, he was struggling from offensively. And the way they've been able to turn it around in just 3 games time, bro, is absolutely amazing. And they got back to playing Michigan basketball. Once again, when they can hit the 3 ball, that spaces everything out, and that allows Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf to go to work. I thought Vlad Golden had a hell of a last 2 games, bro, just being that dominant force in the low post. Even when they were, defensively game planning against that, he was still finding ways to get to the basket, get boards. It's just what you wanted to see from this Michigan team, bro, because we knew that they were better than this. And when Neil Rule, shout out to Neil Rule, Big D Energy 11-1, when he was criticizing Michigan fans and saying like, oh, why aren't you guys grateful that Dusty May, turned your program around from a 3-loss team? And it's like, yes, I understand that, and nobody is ungrateful for what we've seen, but we just know that this team is capable. We know that there's more to be left, and they went out there and they showed us like they aren't dead yet, and hopefully they can get in the tournament and make some noise.
And even more to that point, we all said that if this team turns it around, Dusty May was going to be ultimately that straw that stirs the drink for Michigan basketball. The motivation was there. They looked like a team much, much different between the bookends of the Michigan State game. So Flannel Sam, he got the time. Bro, what up though, man?
Hey, before I head out and leave the couch to Justin, because I know he's got a lot to say on this as well, I want to talk a little bit about the Maryland game, because you talked about crashing the boards. I got some numbers for you. They out-rebounded Maryland 47-18. They out-offensive rebounded them 18-4, and they shot 39% from 3, while Maryland shot 33%. You may ask yourself, though, why did Michigan only win by 1? And this is where we get to the part of the Big Ten tournament where some of their issues reared their ugly head, and it's not quite as perfect and as pretty as the Purdue game. They lost the turnover battle 19-6, and they almost blew that one, and they didn't really have an answer for Queen on defense. However, Trey Donaldson, He went to work. You guys, this is kind of going to get lost in history, but when the game was tied, he made a big three that looked like it might have been the game winner. Unfortunately, Maryland was able to go back ahead by 1, and Michigan got the ball back with 5 seconds, no timeouts. Trey Donaldson inbounded it to Wolf, and Wolf gave it right back to Donaldson, and he went streaking like a gazelle down the court for the game-winning layup. And Trey Donaldson, say what you want about him, he had a really rough stretch to end the season. We've highlighted it on this show. But he's also showed stretches throughout the year where he's been very, very good. And Michigan's going to need him come tournament time. They're going to need strong point guard play. Are they going to get it? That's to be determined. But it was nice to see him play well pretty much the entire Big Ten tournament, honestly. Be that point guard that they needed.
Yeah, and you know what, JB, do you have that video in there where it has the confetti and everything all falling to the ground as the clock struck 0 and Michigan won?
I believe so.
Hey, let's play that. Shout out as well.
Don't be trying to bury it.
Yeah, shout out to I heard him over there, man.
You're right.
Don't overlook
Yeah, I
that,
think
man.
so.
Shout out to our
I
guy.
think I got it. Yeah.
Chat family member. He was on it, dog.
Yeah, he was.
Freddie was on it. Shout out to chat member Freddie fell through on 3. Flannel Sam.
Just wanted to say one more thing before I vacate the premises. I know I did a little bit of a fake out, but the Big Ten tournament is nice, and I love it, and I'm going to be grateful for it because of what us Michigan basketball fans experienced last year and even the year before, choking away a season with Hunter Dickinson, Jet Howard, and Kobe Buffkin.
Yeah.
However,
Not the same.
I understand, but both seasons were bad. But job's not finished.
Yeah.
They got to get it done in the tournament. And I know there's – and they're going to break it down more when I leave. And we're probably going to break it down more on Thursday. UC San Diego, it appears like it's going to be a tougher first-round matchup on the tougher side in terms of matchups-wise and in the little bit of research that I've done. But got to win that game. And going forward – it's a crapshoot at that point. As long as you win your first game, as long as you survive that first round, you might get a 13 seed, you might get a 4, and then after that, it's just let's see if they can play Michigan basketball. If they continue to turn the ball over like they did against Maryland, but not so much against Wisconsin and Purdue, they're going to get got. If they have a cold night shooting from 3, they're going to get got. But the point is that none of this matters if they don't get it done in the tournament. And if I were to give a quick synopsis of what I think is probably going to happen, I honestly think they're either going to lose in the first round or make the Elite 8. I don't think there's really
That's
any
a hell of a
in
range,
between.
Sam.
Hey, but losing in the first round, there's no excuse. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and man, JB, let's say what up though to some friends. Let's take a short break, get back to a little bit of this March Madness, a little bit of this Big Ten tournament talk, and then we also got to make sure we give Sparty their platform as well. But as always, man, it's dope when we can talk Gold Blue victories with our main man, Flannel Sam.
Right.
Shout out to Flannel Sam.
Who literally pulled up just for this.
No, I'm serious. I was saying I thought he was going to VMix in.
I thought he was too.
And I
sent him
just
the
saw a
VMix,
madman streaking across the parking lot
A
down
disheveled
Woodward
white man.
Avenue, man. My man is booking down Woodward Avenue for this. And I was like, yo, is that Flannel? And I was like, no, that's not Flannel. I was like, bro, I think that's really Flannel. Like, his hair was going, dog. I was like, that's amazing blue flannel.
No, for real. Oh, man.
to him,
Shout out my
for
boy Flannel,
making
man.
this
Giving the
appearance.
people what they want, man.
Definitely. And Freddie felt 3-on-3 chat family member. I had boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys know he's been a correspondent now, one of our chat family member, Woodward sports correspondents. Wake Up Woodward as well for some time. He's gotten down to several different events. And I know he was boots on the ground as well for Lions at, I think, Colts game, among others. And he's done, wrestling, Stutch, and Woodward ringside.
If
so,
it's in Indy, that's his city, bro.
Yeah.
If it's in Indy, he's going to be there. But shout out to Freddie, man. You know you the man. Getting this great footage, man. Being able to witness it all.
Up on socials.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. And we got a little bit of more U of M love that I'm going to get to a little bit later in the Pistons segment because it was U of M alumni night. And they recognized our guy, Braylon.
Hey,
yeah, bro. They threw him. You know, they have the What Up, Though segment that they do several times a game when you got some people, honorable people to recognize in the crowd, and Braylon Edwards was the one for Saturday night.
Hey,
and he got a good reception.
Hold up, is that Braylon or is that a clone though? Because without the beard, I'm not sure if that's Braylon.
Dude,
dog.
you know what? I'm glad you said
he looking kind of weird, bro.
I'm glad you said that because I was
goatee Braylon. Like, what are we doing?
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking that shit too. I'm like, this is a clone up here on the desk.
They just come age,
right?
Superman in the back
They done
now,
substituted
dog.
my man's out, man. What is going on, man?
Dog, but let's say what up to some friends. Let's get back into it because we got a full menu today.
All right, let's say what's up to Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. All you got to do is scan that QR code on the screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and if it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. It's Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. You know what? Go out, make some money tonight.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000, cold hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Airy and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at WoodwardSportsBracket.com. That's WoodwardSportsBracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog pick. No matter how you do it, go to WoodwardSportsBracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Chug and Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
Stay connected with Woodward Sports on all social platforms. You got to follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok for the latest sports news, live updates, and behind-the-scenes action. Why, though? I'm telling you guys, there's bonus content. Obviously, you know, the regular show clips. We keep you updated with everything, but there is so much more than that. There's all of the giveaways. People win cash, they win jerseys, they win tickets. I know Pistons tickets are going to be hitting there soon. Postseason tickets are going to be hitting there soon. So you guys want to stay tapped in. Also merch. We got some chat family members, bro. They win merch on like the Woodward, and then they go and win merch on socials as well. So don't miss out. Hit that follow button now and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network at Woodward Sports everywhere. What up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for kicking off this Victory Monday.
Damn right.
With the WUW Crew. Why? Look at it right up there on the screen, KG. Big Ten men's basketball tournament champions.
Oh, it's beautiful.
2025, that is University of Michigan. And now they have to look ahead to March Madness. And there's some people who wonder if they should have had a better seeding, especially given their performance in this Big Ten tournament. And it stinks because I've heard a lot of people on a national scale say, basically, F the Big Ten for not having their championship tournament game before Selection Sunday. And it's almost as if I wonder sometimes if that creeps into how they do things. But when you look at it, there were some Big Ten teams who they weren't affected by this at all.
Yeah.
And they probably benefited, in my opinion, in ways that I thought Michigan would have, given what they did in this tournament. I know that dude Justin, he has some things to say on it as well. But what about you, man? With where they're being seated right now,
a 5th seed is atrocious. I'm sorry, like there's no excuse for that. And JB, can you throw up the list of the seeded teams? Because just wanted to look at this. But my case in point being Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin, they have I believe one more win than Michigan has, right? But Michigan has beaten them now twice, and they are also your Big Ten champion. So you mean to tell me that Wisconsin is a 3 seed over Michigan, a 5 seed? Like that makes no sense to me. And you can go throughout the list of the seeding, and it just, Michigan State, understandable, they would be over you. They whipped your ass twice. But I'm sorry, Wisconsin and even Purdue, man. You look at the big win they got over Purdue. I don't agree with this at all. I think they should be higher. There is no reason why they shouldn't be top 4. Period. Point blank.
Listen, man, before the Michigan State game, everyone said that their line was a 4 seed minimum.
Yeah.
And I do believe that the Big Ten tournament should weigh a little more heavy than the dips that they had.
You would think.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like you also beat a team that didn't they lose to them prior during that little run? Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, guys. They showed you that they're back to business. This tournament, you have to put, in my opinion, a lot more weight on it. Even Tom Izzo said that the tournament has a lot more weight on it than people probably understand. And that's where it's just like a 5th seed after all of that. But it's all right. Detroit Arrow says this. Yeah, I don't understand how you win your conference tournament, then get handed a 5 seed. With
Makes
the
no
teams
sense.
they beat in the tournament getting a higher seed than them. What? It's not like, look, I get it with Michigan State. They are just clearly close your ears, JB. They're clearly head and shoulders the class of the Big Ten.
Right.
We appreciate that.
Whatever.
That's the only love you get on this show, homeboy.
But everybody else is like, you made a great point on it. And I know, that's why I'm glad that we do have that dude Justin here today. And I can't wait till we get Flannel Sam to talk about it as well. But Justin eats, lives, breathes, everything. He rides with. That's his main dog. College sports. My man came in here like, hey, guys, look. Sports Bible, like this is the things that you guys want to be up on, and it has every breakdown, and he studies this stuff, he watches the games, and that's where he stays, even as a Michigan fan, tapped in with the highs and the lows of all the other squads in the Big Ten too, and so that's why I'm glad to have you on with us today, that dude Justin.
I appreciate it, and I can't agree more with KG. The fact that Michigan is a 5 seed, they just feel so underseeded, and they also got arguably the most live 12 seed on the board. They have the smallest spread, a -2.5 favorite over UC San Diego, the Tridents. Cool name, I will say.
Right.
And it's a bad matchup for them. UC San Diego shoots a lot of threes. They force a lot of turnovers. And if Michigan has an off night, Flannel is right. This team could be a first round out, but they also have the potential to make a run to the Elite Eight. And where it kind of really bothers me is I was arguing with Neil in the group chat last night. He was like, oh, they're just going to say something like recent run of form. Yeah, they finished the regular season on a 3-game losing streak, but they then followed that up by beating 3 of the best teams in the Big Ten, a 3 seed and 2 4 seeds, and it didn't even move them up a line. They stayed on the 5 line, and they are in the hardest region on the board as well. That is criminal.
Yeah, Freddie Felt in the chat says it's because the selection committee makes the picks on Friday and then they make slight adjustments before Sunday. # robbed. Jesse Adams. Michigan should have been a tad high, but Michigan has some bad L's and not that many big-time wins until the tourney. Mark, their opponent has the longest winning streak in the country too. NCAA straight up holds them.
I need to respond to that second one because in terms of how the college works with quad 1, quad 2, and quad 3, they have no losses in the Q3 or the Q4. Their only bad losses are in the Q2, which isn't even a bad loss. That was a road loss to Minnesota, and
you lost to State, your rival.
Yeah, and you have the most quad 1 wins in the Big Ten, the most quality wins. You are 11-7. This doesn't make any sense. By every metric, they should be a higher seed.
And I'm sorry, 3 days, 3 days is all it takes to get your selection together. Like, I'm not buying that, bro, because 2 weeks shouldn't determine what the fuck your seeding is for an entire season. We're talking about encapsulating the whole season. And before this 2-week period, Michigan put up a very, very strong season, bro. 20+ wins coming from what we were last year. Like, I'm sorry, that's unacceptable, bro. I'm not buying that excuse. I'm not.
And then the committee is telling you that Wisconsin is 8 teams better than you by being 2 seeds above you.
No way.
You would beat them twice, not once, twice. Once on the road, once on a neutral site, not even having home court advantage. And the committee still thinks they're 8 teams better than you.
And put them in State's bracket.
Of course. But, they want the money. I get, some of this is a little, it's a little foreshadowing.
I've come to realize that the state of Michigan, no matter the pro team or the college team, travels very, very well.
Yeah.
And so I do know that some of these things, we know that businesses and sponsors are all wrapped into this. And that's where I do think some of this stuff comes into play. If those 2 teams do wind up some way, somehow meeting in that region, you already know what the views are going to be like.
Yeah, fireworks.
Mm-hmm. Fireworks, man. And JBSmooovv.
What's up?
I know I just kind of wanted a perspective from an outsider, obviously to kind of balance out some of the, our takes. Because you're our voice of reason here. I know we're going to talk Spartans, but what you saw from University of Michigan during the Big Ten tournament, do you believe that they were robbed of a higher seeding? I really am intrigued by your take on this one.
No, I have to agree with you guys. Honestly, being a 5th seed, it sucks, especially going up against UC San Diego. Like Flannel said, that's a tough task coming out the first game of your NCAA tournament. Honestly, if they don't come out on top of that one, I don't know where they're going to end up afterwards. But I will say, you guys got robbed, especially being a Big Ten champion, winning it right after that. But I think Freddie is kind of true as well, too. I feel like the committee just kind of made their selection and made their picks super early and was just like, all right, we'll make slight adjustments, especially given the fact that they have that short window to kind of adjust things within 30 minutes to make sure everything's ready to go for the Selection Sunday show as well. So I just feel like they seen Michigan's early losses and they seen this conference victory, this win over here, and we're just like, all right, just leave them where we got them at right now at 5, and they should be fine. Because honestly, I think they're wanting another run of Michigan State in this NCAA tournament as well too. So that's probably where the money is for them. They just want to get Michigan State right back there again.
Yeah. You can feel it. The narratives, they almost write themselves, and you got to ask yourself, wait, do we really avoid this?
Right.
Why would we? So it's I get it. And this is where having a Dusty May, for me, at this time of the year, I'm hoping that it proves very, very vital, almost as vital or more vital than what we had out of Coach Beeline. He had some pretty special runs during the tournament time, and I wish that he was able to punch one home. But what he was able to do, especially without all of the high recruits, to be able to take Trey Burke, somebody that Ohio State didn't even want,
right,
and to be able to turn him into a Michigan legend. Tim Hardaway, who his recruiting process, go back and look at it. Michigan took a chance, you know what I mean? And those guys underneath his leadership were able to be motivated to the next level, man. And that's where, with a Dusty Man, you look at who he's been and what he's been up to this point. That's where I am confident. I know that the seeding is not what we all want, but I am confident in his ability to coach and motivate these players, especially given the 3-game run that they were just on. Yeah, they made it just a little bit tougher, But I am confident Dusty May is going to have these guys ready to go on to, and handle business.
No, you got to play who's in front of you. I mean, we can sit up here and argue about seeding all day, but the fact remains that they are in the tournament now. This is something that we haven't seen, for the last couple years as Michigan fans. And it's a relief, bro. What Dusty May has been able to do in 1 year has been nothing short of amazing. And, he's gonna have these guys ready, but it's all going to come down to the players as well. Dusty May can only do so much, but if we get that Michigan team that showed up over the last 2 weeks, then Michigan is going to go out there and get embarrassed. But if they can play the basketball that we know they're capable of playing, when they're hitting the 3 ball, when they're crashing the boards, they're playing physical defense and being strong in the low post, then they can compete with anybody. What did we say after that Saturday game in the group chat? Like, when Michigan plays like this offensively, they are a tough team to stop, man. And I look forward to them, hopefully putting their best foot forward and being able to, get through the tournament, man. Because I would love to see a rematch against Michigan State and get our lick back on the way to an Elite 8 spot.
Especially while they're playing better basketball, because I still believe that they just got absolutely discombobulated by them.
Yeah.
They weren't ready for it in Tom Izzo. That's where you tip the cap to the type of coach that he is. And, hopefully the trend shows that Michigan has figured themselves out and realized the advantages that they have. Obviously, these other teams are going to bring some serious work to the table as well. But what we just saw out of this tournament is that Michigan State is not invincible.
Yeah.
They're not. And that Michigan actually did have another level that they could play better than what we saw from the time that they played Michigan State and all the games in between the next time they played Michigan State.
Mm-hmm. So. No, and I think for Dusty May, he has to be able to trust his guys out there defensively. I think that, over this 2-week stretch where they were playing kind of bad, he was doing a lot defensively, trying to mix up the schemes. He was playing a lot of 2-3, switching between that and man. And I think they got burned a lot. They was going against teams that were shooting the ball well, even against a Michigan State team who hadn't shot the ball well into that game. But, they came into the game against us and they found their stroke, and they've been shooting well ever since. But I think a lot of that was because Dusty May was trying to, figure out how to attack certain teams defensively. I think if you just stick to man and trust your guys, then they'll be okay, because you got a guy in Danny Wolf that is not too shabby at defending. You got Vlad Golden, who has looked a lot better over these last 3 games. So if you can go out there and trust your guys, even Trey Donaldson at the guard spot, if you can go out there and trust your guys man-to-man, I think they'll be okay, man.
Especially in that Wisconsin game, it showed it extremely well because they were getting downhill. Like, Wisconsin realized pretty early that they were not having a good shooting night, and they started driving and forcing fouls. And there was a long time where Michigan had no answers. But then Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden both started going vertical, not jumping, making it tough for them to finish over the 2 7-footers, and that led them to miss a lot of those layups. One of the big turning points of the game was when, I believe it was Blackwell, came down the lane, and he had to try to make a layup over both Golden and Wolf, and that forced us to have that possession to, I believe, take the lead. And I know this is a little topic, but I have to say it. LJ Kayson saved that game for Michigan.
He did.
At the middle of the game, when Michigan looked like they were dying, they were down 8 at one point. No life. Donaldson wasn't doing anything. No one could hit any shots. They call on the freshman. LJ Kayson comes in. He's played limited minutes all tournament. He goes 2 for 4 from 3, 8 points, some rebound. Was getting almost every rebound off the glass. Really just injected that life into the team to let Donaldson come in, take over down the stretch, and allow Michigan to get that victory.
No, Justin, and I'm so glad you brought up guard play, because that's going to be the X factor in the tournament for this Michigan team. You have to get great play from your guards. And listen, Danny Wolf, Vlad Golden, they're going to be there. They are the stars on this team. They will go as far as those two take this team. But at the same time, you need guys like Trey Donaldson. You need Namari Burnett to go out there and hit shots and be able to facilitate. Because when Michigan is moving the ball and they're passing that thing around, they can be a tough team to stop. But you absolutely have to have good guard play, and even if it's not falling for you offensively, defensively, you need to be, making sure you're doing everything in your power to limit that other team, and just be out there and be good playmakers, man, even if the shot's not falling.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I want to make sure that we give some time and attention to our Spartan brethren as well. We'll take a quick break and come back so that JBSmooovv, and I know that dude Justin, like I said, he loves Michigan. This guy, this is what he consumes, is college sports among all of the other pro teams here. So I can't wait to get into that segment. What friends you want to say what up, though, to JBSmooovv?
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, man, still the best deal in the gym game, period, point blank, in the story, man. There are thousands of locations around the world. There are over 50 plus in Metro Detroit alone, man. Go in there, get that black card, and get right, man. Summer coming up. I know you want to show off that summer body, man. So go to Planet Fitness today. The best deal in the gym game right now. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Did someone say merch? Head over to woodwardsports.com. All you got to do is click on that shop tab. We got new designs for you every single week. But let me tell you about the ones we got up on screen right now. Got the LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies right now, and the Woodward Tigers as well too. Because you know what? Opening day is very, very soon, and you need to be decked out in Woodward sports gear when you're down at Comerica Park or when you're partying with us at the tent party as well too. So head over to woodwardsports.com. All you got to do is click on that shop tab and buy everything.
Everything. And you know what? Just again, I want to make sure people know as we're talking about, you know, Big Ten tournament and March Madness is right around the corner. We have the seedings.
Yeah.
That means now you guys can go out there and complete your March Madness brackets. So definitely go. We pinned something in the chat. And I want you all to be able to go and take a look because there are some good prizes on the line here. You can win, cash. You can win Detroit basketball tickets. We know what that team is. Hey, nice hat, KG. What is that
Thank
hat?
you. Oh, it's a Pistons hat.
Oh, okay. Or a Grand Traverse getaway, depending on where you land first, second, third. And that also comes with a golf package. And you look at the sun shining right out here on Woodward Ave. The weather is starting to get nice. These are some things that we want to make sure that you guys can take advantage of. And if we get 20 chat members that fill in their bracket and then tag us or something like that with the proof online or email me, then we will institute 3 merch giveaways.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep. Hey,
Okay.
we're going to hit a goal and a half on likes. Let's get those March Madness brackets in. Let's try and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to win something.
I might enter that myself secretly. I might throw the little burner on there real quick.
At nobody.
Right. Hey, that's the reason. Y'all want to know why?
Oh, man, that's the reason. You know, that's pretty smart. Clever. And I know we still got a little TLB on the way.
Oh, yeah.
As well as those Detroit Pistons. We got the audio from JB Bickerstaff and Malik Beasley, as well as certain things that went down at that game. The ejections, the reviews.
Man.
Fans were hot. Fans were loud. Playoff basketball is going to be crazy.
No justice, no peace for the Pistons, bro.
Hey,
that's the type of time I'm on.
Hey, and we definitely going to talk about it. So, chat family, continue to stay tapped in. We got to make sure that our brother in JBSmooovv also gets to kind of profile some things, recap the Big Ten tournament, as well as a look ahead at the March Madness for those Spartans. But just to make sure we say what up, though, to the rest of our guys, man. Shout out Matthew Broder.
Yeah.
Cavassier Chase is in the building. He got a cold Detroit Red Wings hat on right now.
Yeah, bitch, is
and he's working hard for the crew. We also got Willie B in the sound booth with the red
Big Willie
hood.
style.
That's Red Hood, right?
He ain't broken nothing yet. He ain't broke nothing this morning.
Bro, man, hey, you know what? And I'm so glad we got us another DC brother in the building, man.
Hey, shout out DC, man. Except for the Commanders. Fuck them. I'm still hurt.
DC comics,
Still hurt.
But you don't want DC nothing. He's just like,
I'm good on anything DC.
Whew, man, but let's get into another something that I'm really good on, and that's the Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll throw it over to our guy, JBSmooovv. Obviously, you guys fell short of being able to have a couple tournament championships, but you know what? The more the merrier. The state of Michigan came away, still keeping those championships within our borders. But, you know, I would want to know what your takeaway is as it relates to Tom Izzo, Michigan State in this tournament, and then obviously a look ahead at March Madness.
Explain yourself.
I mean, it is fair. As long as the trophy stayed in Michigan, I guess I can't really complain about it. But the tourney really sucked, man. It did. It sucked. I'm not making any excuses. Wisconsin was the better team out there that day, but it just sucks. I feel like there was 2 no calls that should have been called, but that's just me. It is what it is. You know, the loose ball that shouldn't have been called, and also the 3-point shot at the end. I was like, come on, that's a little bit of hand right there catching it, but they didn't call it. It is what it is. It's fair. Wisconsin went on, you know. Maybe this might have helped Michigan State out just a little bit. Maybe this could have helped Tom Izzo in a way that, hey, the kids just need a little bit more teaching, a little bit more motivation as well, too. But it is what it is. Respect to Wisconsin, respect to Michigan. You guys went out there, proved it, and won. So I got nothing more to say.
Oh, look at JB being all cute, man. I appreciate that, man. We appreciate that.
I appreciate that, man. So you said, well, just a little kick in the mouth right before March Madness.
Yeah.
Might be something that they needed.
You just need that kick in the ass, just to wake you up just a little bit, just to show that, hey, you are not the most unbeatable team out here. Like, there are other teams in any given day they can go out there and just hand it to you.
Well, JB, you know, not to discredit Michigan State, y'all guys had an incredible season, especially down the stretch. We all know, like, the type of basketball y'all played. Y'all found the 3-ball, and I think that was a big key in, like, how y'all looked coming down the stretch. Are you concerned at all? I mean, I know it was just, you know, a couple games in the tournament, but are you concerned at all going into the NCAA tournament about Michigan State?
I mean, a little bit, especially when it comes to the 3-ball. Like you said, we found this 3-ball shot kind of late in the season, and now you're going into tournament play where things get a lot tougher. Obviously, you got kind of a tune-up matchup with Bryant coming out first, but then again, hey, don't make any excuses. Just go out there and play your type of ball, your type of defense, and just work on that 3-point shot just a little bit more, because the competition only gets tougher and tougher as the tournament goes on. So you got to be on top of your game, which I hope Tom Izzo will have these guys ready and prepared for.
Who do you think is going to be the standout in the tournament for Michigan State?
Player-wise or team?
Player-wise, yeah.
Oh, it's got to be Chase Richardson. That guy has been on point this whole entire season, and it'll continue on through this tournament play as well. But once again, you need that extra guard to step up as well too. Jeremy Fears stepped up this past game against Wisconsin, but I still need more. I need more productivity out there on the floor from these guys. I don't know who wants to be willing to step up next, but hey, someone has to make big plays.
Damn, man, that's so well stated.
Yeah.
When we talk about voice of reason, it's because of stuff like that. Both his take on Michigan, as well as when he speaks about Michigan State, he is always proud of their accomplishments, but when he feels like there's more to give, that's what he's always going to put out there, and he doesn't care who's offended by it. And,
right.
And because you realize that, and we get this with the Lions, we're seeing this now with JB Bickerstaff and all of our teams that are starting to percolate, word to Freddie Felt. These guys are not afraid to take the criticism. They're not afraid to say, you know what, I need to get better. They're not afraid to say, you know what, there's more we can do, because I'm telling you, Michigan State was looking dag near untouchable in the Big Ten. Until that tournament loss. And when you talk about Tom Izzo, the one thing we've seen him do is be able to take some of these moments and really get his guys motivated going forward. And JB Bickerstaff, JB Bickerstaff.
Right. JBSmooovv.
JB Bickersmooovv, and we got KG Shepard in the building. I think that he broke it down pretty succinctly, and that dude, Justin, you look like you're raring to go, man.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State was on an 8-game heater going into that game.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing that could have happened to that Michigan State team. They found their three-point shot, and they actually outshot Wisconsin and Oregon from 3 this weekend. So I think that's big going into the tournament. I think the fact that they have a star like Jace Richardson who can take over a game at will is incredibly important because of the guard play. They have really good guards. They can really guard. The thing is, like, they're not going to be an upset candidate against Bryant, especially because they found their three-point shot and they're shooting well right now. I think that this is a Tom Izzo team that is actually bulldogging and ready to go in a way that we haven't seen Michigan State be in a couple of years, where I think that a deep run is imminent, but there is going to be a time where they're going to have to be in a battle like they were with Wisconsin, and they ended up just getting the short end of the stick in that game because Tanjay and Blackwell were playing so well. That is easily what could happen in the tournament because they can be outplayed by guards that can shoot better.
Justin, you making great points right now. I think there's going to come a game in this tournament for Michigan State where the shots dry up, and it's all about how they look once the shots dry up. We all know they can be good defensively, and they need to find ways to get to the basket. But if they can do that and weather the storm of a bad shooting night, they're dangerous. And Tom Izzo, we already know what he do in the tournament. But this year, he just looks like he has a different level of focus. He looks like he is trying to get this done for y'all, man. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Michigan State in the Final Four, to just being completely honest.
I wouldn't be either. Their path is not egregiously hard. No. I mean, Iowa State and Marquette in the next 2 rounds after they play Bryant are going to be some tough matchups. Marquette is very underseeded in my opinion. Iowa State just got one of their best offensive players back in Malevich, who had a great Big 12 tournament. They're very good offensively and solid defensively, so that's going to be a good matchup for Michigan State. But I still think that all these games are very winnable. Like, I would expect Michigan State to make a run to the Elite Eight or even further because they have the pieces to compete with an Auburn team that's struggling right now.
Yeah.
They've lost the last 3 of 4. So this is honestly as much as Michigan State's region to win as it is Auburn's.
Yeah. Justin's over there fired up.
Oh, he's spitting, bro.
He's spitting.
He's
I
spitting.
mean, everybody is, and that's what makes the conversation, I think, even that much better as we're heading into March Madness with 2 teams that do have an opportunity to make some noise in March Madness. That's why I just really wish they put them in opposite brackets.
Yeah, man.
But, hey, we know what it is. And if there was a chat here that I was looking at that kind of took my attention away, but I really appreciate this one. It's from Herb Nash. JBSmooovv, I think you will like this one, too. We went from January, February, right to May, as in Dusty May.
Hey, turn up, man.
Turn up. How do you feel about that, JBSmooovv?
Y'all got hot. That's all I can say. You got hot at the end there. Like, make it count this first game out the tournament. That's all I got to say. Make it count.
I can't see Michigan losing in that first round, especially after turning it around like this. It'd be a travesty if they lose in that first round. They absolutely cannot. They can't. I don't even want to put that energy out there.
I see you in the chat, Speakeasy. He says, bracket.
Damn right.
Make sure you guys get those brackets done. And that link should be posted in all of the show chats today, just to make it easier for you all to be able to get your brackets in. I don't even know, man, like if there's a way to even sneak in a second one. And shout out to Jugganathan Neurosurgery as the main sponsor here. There are some nice giveaways here on the line. I don't know if people have been to Traverse City or not. My pops used to go up there for the auto conferences every single year. And I'm telling you, dog, it's a great time.
No, I heard it's a great time.
The golf. We're just going to have to go up there.
Traverse City is nice.
Only a 2-hour drive, man. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And then, obviously, Detroit basketball tickets. And it's a nice hat, man.
Oh, thank you.
What is that again?
It's a Pistons hat.
Pistons. Put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Or just straight up cash. So you can actually go to Traverse City and go to the Pistons game.
Hey, I'm not mad at that either.
Hey, straight up. Let's say what up, though, to some friends. We got a TLB, and then we got to talk about those Pistons as well.
You mean talk Lions, bitch?
Hey, that's what's up.
Hey.
Who we got to say what up, though, to JBSmooovv?
Oh, I got to tell them about Jars. Jars Cannabis. Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. They're home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products, 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always a location nearby you. But don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are popping up very, very soon. And if you don't have time to stop in store, you can always check them out online at jarscannabis.com, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Look, at Lady Jane's, we take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, that hot lather neck shave.
Nice
That's why I
and
still
wet.
got the victory shades
Hey,
on, because that's a win, man.
Yeah, nice, thick, and wet.
And a hot towel treatment.
The fat, juicy, and wet.
Where? Willie B is in on it. Oh, God.
Indeed.
Indeed. God, Lady Jane's, man. It's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome. Oh, what up, people? Welcome back. It is the WUW Crew. Love the WUW Crew, man. Shout out to our brother Flannel Sam as well, who stopped by.
I still can't get over that. He came to the studio.
in?
I swear, when he told us yesterday he wasn't going to be in, I'm thinking like, all right, he going to V-mix in. He said he wanted to be here for the first 30 minutes. But he actually came in studio, bro. Oh, my
Shout
God.
out to Flannel
He's a
Sam,
maniac.
dog. He is an absolute maniac. And somebody who clearly loves his Go Blue.
Yeah, he do. And I mean, coming from Juwan Howard, we all know his feelings about Juwan Howard. So, no, I'm happy for Flannel, man. He deserved this.
Yo, that was what was funny, too, about Anil, too.
Yeah.
He was like, dog, so Juwan Howard was really a bad coach. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Those Detroit Lions, they did a thing.
They did.
Because we talked about Tim Patrick prior. Like, just go ahead and bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the news was announced, it was dope to see Tim Patrick is back with the Detroit Lions. And that's been one of your godsons. You talk about the big body receiver. You talk about a guy who was able to really control some of the downs that he was in on, the toe taps, the sideline grabs, opening up, honestly, a window of operation for Jared Goff that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And that, to me, was what I liked. Even throwing it short and having him power his way into the end zone because he's just bigger than the other DBs out there. And knowing that he's had some struggles in the past due to some other factors. Mm-hmm. But now that it seems like things are stable, we saw him put up about 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 11.9 yards a catch last year. He was a receiver that when he catches the ball, it's a first down. And that's what I really, really liked about who he was on this squad. And so I definitely got to get your take on Tim Patrick back with the Detroit Lions.
And once again, I will continue to say this. He is a number 2 receiver that you have as your number 3. And the value that you are getting for a guy like this, it is amazing. I'm so glad that he didn't make the same mistake that Josh Reynolds made. Because Josh Reynolds, if we think back to free agency last year.
Where is Josh Reynolds?
Yeah. Listen.
Shots fired.
You think back to free agency last year, Josh Reynolds, he wanted the bag. And, I mean, I can't necessarily blame him. He had a good year as a number 3 receiver on this team, but he just outpriced themselves for the Lions, man, and he ends up going to the Broncos, ironically, and we get Tim Patrick, and Tim Patrick has been everything that, you know, has been advertised ever since we got him. He's come in, he's fit this culture just perfectly. He goes out there, he's a big body receiver, much in the way of Josh Reynolds, but I feel like his route running is a little bit better. He's a little bit better at catching passes deep down the field, and he's become an absolute asset for Jared Goff in this Lions offense. And, you know, when you lock up a guy like this for, I believe it was $4 or $5 million.
1 year, $4 million contract.
This is perfect, man. This is everything you're wanted if you're Brad Holmes, and this completes your starting unit on offense. The only thing you really have to worry about now is depth as far as the offensive line, but everything else is set. This offense is ready to go. I'm really excited for what John Morton is going to bring to this thing and the new nuances he'll bring, but they're ready.
Getting the bump as well, getting the raise.
Yeah.
One game coordinator as well as offensive line coordinator. That's where I'm ready to see what this team is going to do, man. And that's where I wanted to ask you as well. Just kind of looking ahead at the draft, do you believe they need to go in and get another young wide receiver to add to this core?
If they do, it'll be late round. Like we're talking maybe round 5, 6, or 7. You might look at a receiver, you know, maybe even an undrafted guy that you might bring in.
That's
but
what my mind is kind of leaning towards.
Yeah,
but some guy that they can bring in and probably bring along slowly, because that's what Tim Patrick, his addition, allows you to do.
And that's what that's what the Lions have done in their past as well, you know, bringing in people like Maurice Alexander and people of that nature. So I expect them to do that, but as far as your top 3, you're set to go. And even if you want to use a 4th, you got Sam Laporta at tight end. So this Lions offense, I expect them to be, you know, just as dangerous as they were last year. I know it'll be a little bit different. Everybody thinks John Morton is just absolutely going to run the ball more. That's still yet to be seen, but it does make sense when you see the type of backfield that you have as well. So this offense, they're Super Bowl caliber ready. It's just all about, you know, how are they going to perform when it comes time to perform, and how is the defense going to hold up as well. But this Lions offense, shout out to you know, Dan Campbell and John Morton and the guys for getting this done and bringing Tim Patrick back, because he is a great addition to this team. He has been since he's got here.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw a comment here that was definitely pretty interesting here, and it's very simple from Donkey Kong. He just says, "I love Roy Lopez." You know, when we talk about some of these new additions and kind of getting more familiarized with who Roy Lopez is, that's where I'm like, you know what? Brad Holmes is working very, very kind of quiet and smart right now with the types of additions he's bringing to the team, and even bringing a guy back like a Tim Patrick. These are just guys that just work.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily about all of the flair. They're not necessarily even about all of their own attention. And though they might not be kind of your stars of the league, they are the guys that make up really the baseline and the foundation of the identity that you want. We talk about depth and versatility. Well, guys like Tim Patrick, and as I'm looking at Roy Lopez, they bring that. And they bring that in a package of, they got that dog in them. You know, and that's what I like, with very low ego. They just go to work.
They got a prototype, don't they?
They got a prototype. And Brad Holmes, you know what? How dare us, because obviously we don't go even diving as deep as he does. How dare us not really believe? That's why we always say trust in Brad. We know he's going to cook something.
Right.
But how dare us not really know he's going to cook something?
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. I still want more pass rush help, but we got a whole draft ahead of us and opportunities to be able to kind of make things happen for this Detroit Lions team.
And I get it. As fans, you know, we want to see different faces around here, you know, especially coming off a season in which you were disappointed. You set a franchise record in wins, but you did jack shit in the playoffs. So understandably so, you got a bitter taste in your mouth, and you want Brad Holmes to go out there and make as many moves as possible to make this team better. a lot of that is our own guys. And I know fans see that and they're like, what the hell? That's all Brad does. He signs his own guys. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's how I look at it. You were a 15-win team last year. You were a number 1 seed in the NFC just last season. So there's not much changing that you really need to do. Yes, in certain areas you need to improve, but you bring up a guy like Roy Lopez. Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought him up, because if you just on the surface just look at what the Lions have done with their defensive line this year in free agency, you got DJ Reader, you got Aleem McNeil, who will be coming back hopefully in short order, probably the first 4 to 5 games of the season. You have a Roy Lopez now who is probably going to be your Broderick Martin replacement, and if you feel that way, then the Lions got better in that department. You add Levi O to that, you add Mekhi Wingo coming back off an injury to that. That's a pretty damn good defensive tackle room. Now, I know we're still waiting for that pass rusher. I mean, we all are. Trust me. Don't get me wrong there. But Brad knows the strengths and the weaknesses of this team. And he's not just sitting on his hands for no reason. Nope. He has a plan. He's not just passing up on the big names for the F of it. Like, he has a plan, and he's going to be able to execute. But I think fans just need to look forward to the draft, because that's where he makes his money. That's where he gets his most aggressive, and that's where he has his most leverage. If you just look at, the Lions draft pick situation. So I'm not mad at how he's building the team right now. No, and I can't blame him, because you were right there last year. You just had a bad performance at a bad time. But that doesn't, speak to what the team actually is.
And they got some young guys on this squad and some players on this team that will take steps forward. This is when we talk about Brad has a type, Brad guys. He's bringing in guys that fit this culture, and he says he builds for longevity, long term. Yeah. And so those guys, we see them step into this space where more times than not they're working out, they're panning out, and now these are the guys that we're depending on. Now as we can see it, 2, 3, 4 years into the Brad Holmes pipeline. And so, when he goes out there and he selects somebody, it leads me to believe that this is a player who, from a depth perception, and you talk about the bringing in a Rodgers, Kelvin Shepard now, the defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. This is where I'm like, you know what? If these are the signings, I believe that it is to keep a lot of what they do good the same, but bringing in guys specifically that might be able to be available as it relates to the health concerns too. So I do believe Tim Patrick on the offensive side is a guy that's going to be there. I do believe Roy Lopez is going to be a guy that's going to be there. Mm-hmm. And from everything I'm hearing from people who appreciate what Roy Lopez brings to the table, they say, bro, he is like just a downs eater. And he just works hard the entire time with that motor. And that's what I love, especially with what we're talking about from the bookends as well. And so I'm looking forward to not just these, the re-signing of a Tim Patrick, bringing back or signing a Roy Lopez, but I'm also looking forward to the internal growth that this team is going to make, that I do believe sometimes we undervalue. This team took steps forward. J-Mo took a huge step forward this year. Mm-hmm. Jahmyr Gibbs took a step forward this year. Even Amon-Ra St. Brown, knowing that now the target's on your back. Yeah. Now the defenses are all skewed towards you. I saw different coverages, tighter coverages on him, and more physical coverage than I'm really used to with Amon-Ra St. Brown. But these guys all still took that step forward. Penei Sewell and Co. So I'm looking forward to this team overall. I think that these are some strategic and specific moves that Brad Holmes has done to really, really bolster the foundation of this team.
Yeah, and just to bring it back to the Roy Lopez type of players that they bring in, because like you said, they got a type. They go out there and they get people that are very, very passionate about football, and those type of players normally work here. We're not saying that Roy Lopez is the most athletic. We're not saying he's going to make the most plays, but he is going to be somebody that goes out there and contributes to this team. And if you like people like Dan Skipper, then you'll love Roy Lopez. If you like people like John Kaminsky, then you'll love Roy Lopez.
We just go to work with our lunch pails.
Exactly.
I love it.
And those type of players have proven to work here under this Brad Holmes regime. So I'm not mad at him taking a chance on a guy like this. And like I said, if you view him as a Broderick Martin replacement or just taking his spot on the depth chart, then the Lions got better. They did.
And you know what? This is an interesting comment from one Mr. Matthew Kruger. He says, our entire defensive line is coming off of major injuries. You just think they're going to pick up and be exactly the same players? It's going to take some time. Well, that's why I do appreciate some of the more strategic moves that we see him making.
Yeah.
The platoon that they can now employ in place of Aleem McNeil. And look, Aleem McNeil is the dog. He is the one you want starting those minutes. And if he could be healthy from the start of the season, that's what you want. But if you don't have that, then Brad Holmes had to go out of his way to make sure that he could field something reputable in that time. And that's where I say, you know what? Brad Holmes is, in my opinion, really cooking up because he still has a quadri of draft picks to go and still bring more defensive line help to you, whether it's for rotational purposes, whether it's just for depth and versatility, or if he wants to be able to go and say, you know what? I just want to bring in another dog. He can go out there and do that, and he's giving himself that opportunity by doing moves like a Roy Lopez and shoring up this defensive line to a certain degree.
And they still have money in the bank, too. If he decides, hey, I see something in the free agent market I like, I'm going to go after that, they can do that. So everything is at Brad Holmes' disposal, and we all know he doesn't do it the way we want it done. You know, he's going to do it his way. So we have to be a little patient in that aspect. But so far, so good. He hasn't steered us wrong. When you really look at this thing from a macro level, it's been injuries that have derailed us, especially over this last year. And shout out to Weezy D313 in the chat. He actually said, you're adding Hutch to a 15-2 team. And when you think about it, when you think about it from that aspect and just what they were able to do, even in the face of injury last year, should show you that Brad Holmes and his ability to build a team, like that should be unquestioned at this point. He knows how to put guys out there that, one, love football, and two, that'll give their all on each and every down. And I think that's the difference.
And then what's the other half of that battery? Brad Holmes is identifying them. But Dan Campbell just has a way to really bring that dog out of them out there on the football field where we could say, oh, these players are having their best career years.
Yeah. What they
we
call
saw what Carlton Davis did last year. We've seen what David Montgomery has done, man. Yeah. These players coming from the outside are coming here and they are thriving, man. And that's what I love, whether it's who they're picking in the draft, who they're signing, who they're trading for. They're largely having success with identifying who the dogs are, who the guys are with low egos, who the guys that are going to be excited about being here and representing Detroit, and then being able to make sure that they execute that out there on the field, man. And I've been pleasantly surprised. When Tim Patrick was signed, I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't, especially from a guy that's playing a 3 or 4 receiver role.
Well, I did.
Role. I know you did. That's your godson. You talked about it from the beginning, and that's why you're one of our ball knowers. You have been spot on about so much stuff since you've arrived at this network, man. And I know that if I knew you before, that I would have been like, yeah, this guy is it. We talked football for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, KG is one of those guys. And that's where, you know, I'm happy that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they understand both aspects of it. We've had many different GM coach combinations. Like, how are you GM hiring your own coach and y'all don't got chemistry?
You're right.
I don't understand that. Y'all don't got working chemistry. The coach talking about the type of players he wants, and the GM is doing his own thing. Now you got guys that are literally like you can't tell me that they're not brothers. I don't care about the tone. It just is what it is. Like they are in lockstep. One is identifying and the other one is executing it. And it's a beautiful relationship between them, especially when you see the players are stepping into stardom.
No, it definitely helps when you have a GM and a coach that are in perfect synergy, like a Brad Holmes and a Dan Campbell is, because, you know, they built this team in their image, and this is the type of players that they want to bring in. They want to bring in people that are tough, that are not just gonna, you know, when shit gets hard, they not just gonna go out there and give up. You know, you want somebody that's gonna fight for every single yard when you're out there. And when you have a whole team, a whole roster comprised of players with a like mindset, that's what makes this team dangerous, man. So once again, like you was cooking, bro, like I'm really looking forward to what this Lions team is going to look like. And listen, I know the flashy names have not come here, or that they haven't went out and sought after the flashy names, but you don't need to add much to this mix. Like, of course, we were all like a superstar player here, but it's not necessary. And I think that's what the fan base has to realize.
Yeah, and this is my last question to you before we move on to a little bit of a TPB. Got to talk about those Pistons. Is this Brad Holmes cooked up in a way that I think makes them the most deadly player at next season's trade deadline?
Really?
That's what I think. Think about it. What he's done to bolster their lineup right now.
Yeah.
They don't have to go and overpay for something. They can, at the trade deadline, see what they need, like they did this previous season and then choose to say we need to make a move now? What if they sell out short right now and then more problems spring up later?
Right.
So by going and bringing in guys like Roy Lopez, securing a Tim Patrick, bringing in, some of the other re-signings that we brought, we're like, why would they go and bring this guy back? Or hey, okay, they brought this guy back. I think it's to be able to say, okay, we like our dogs, we got our team, we filled in depth where we might be a little bit weak, and now it puts them in position to kind of play things the right way, let Aleem come back, and if there are needs, then they can go at that trade deadline and say, you know what, we got the most cap space. No, they can go and say, especially when you consider if they're drafting players and such that can contribute depending on what a trade would look like. But largely, if you have the cap space and a willingness to let go of second or third round draft picks, you can come away with a pretty good edge rusher at next year's trade deadline.
Yeah, nah, bro, you cooking right now. And that's such a great point that you made, because Brad already done told y'all, man, I'm not trying to win the headlines in March, but the ones in November, December, January, that's what we're really aiming for here. So on the surface, it may not look like all that, but come around that time when games get tougher and, you need guys that are going to be on the field and give their all, the Lions are standing right there. And you made such a great point about the trade deadline. He's absolutely leaving himself open for the trade deadline. And when you just listen to some of the stuff that we've heard over the past couple of years, he tried to go after Danielle Hunter in 2023 at the deadline. It didn't work.
Yep, the reports have been out there.
He asked about Myles Garrett when he went and got Zadarius Smith at last year's deadline. Brad Holmes is a very active GM. And just because he hasn't made that big splash move yet doesn't mean he won't. It just has to be right. It has to line up with his vision and his timeline. And I'm not mad at that. But you can expect Brad Holmes to absolutely be very active at the trade deadline if there's a piece on this team that can push us over the top. You saw it with Z last year. Unfortunately, it worked to a certain degree because he came in and contributed, but it didn't end in the ultimate goal. But you can't sweat him for trying, and that's all we want to see Brad Holmes do, is go out there and try to make these moves happen, and that's what he's done.
The chat just wants Big Z.
I want him back.
They just want Big Z.
I want him back.
I think we all do.
Damon Jefferson paid
Bring him home.
Big Z hoof-hearted. The longer Z stays on the market, the more likely it is that he comes back. Randall
Hopefully.
Smalls, does anyone know what Zadarius' projected cost per year is? So great. Zadarius was such a great culture fit. Still don't understand why we cut him. If they believe they can have a chance to bring him back, then I do. And if you do care about, hey, look, man, you could potentially get more money out there on the market than what we can offer.
Right.
And if cutting him saves a little bit of money, I can understand that. But it does. I do have to agree. The longer, I think with Hoof, the longer he stays out there on the market, I feel like the more likely it is he comes back.
I mean, there's a good chance of that. And if they were to bring it back at a lower contract, I don't think it'd be something, too crazy, maybe around $7 to $8 million. But the real question is whether they want to keep him for 1 year or 2 years. Because if they want to keep him for 2 years, then you might have to ante up a little bit more. But if we're talking just a 1 year, let's run it back one more time. Let's see what we got. I give him a $7, $8, maybe even $9 million contract and see where it lays. And that's better than the $11 million that they would have had to shell out if they had kept him on the roster.
What about Muhammad? I see Weezy in the chat.
Ooh.
I know that was one of the other guys' sons.
He'd be a good depth piece. I don't rule that out either. Just based off what he gave you last year, I'm pretty sure Brad Holmes realizes, the type of player that he is. I would love to have him back because he provides a certain amount of speed off the edge that you need in that reserve role, man. So I would love to see him come back on a $1, $2, $3 million contract.
If he's back or not, I actually don't know.
I haven't seen that he's back. I haven't seen it. He's still out there. I thought. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Hey, bro, that was real thorough Lions talk.
Yeah. TLB, man.
And we got to get into these Pistons. The people are asking about it. They were like, man, dog, I would have led with it. But this allows us right now to be able to have just unadulterated Pistons talk. If we got to push Feldman's mailbag segment,
get it out the way.
Feldman Pistons segment is on the way.
Are you telling them to move, bitch? That's what we doing?
No, just a different dress today. Come on, baby. Instead of mailbag, we bump you up to prime time. You get to be the Pistons segment sponsored. So, attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice.
Secret sauce.
Trust the guy that D-Mac trusts. Why? Because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. All you got to do for more information is visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Buddy's Pizza has been serving the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946, and now 79 years later, they have 22 locations in the state of Michigan, and fans can still visit where it all began on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app and start earning today. Add some Detroit style to your next meal. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That's the number 10MEAL. Buddy'sPizza.com.
Best pizza on God's green earth.
Hey,
man.
You know what, man? They had that pizza here that they brought by the studio, when we were celebrating the new relationship.
Didn't save me a slice.
And it was perfect. What, JB?
Said didn't save me a slice of nothing.
My man, you took off early, bro.
What's up with that?
Dang. We're going to have to make sure we hold it down for the brothers. I actually had to drive back up here. Shout out Brady.
Yeah.
He saved me one of the cheese ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dope, man.
Yeah,
I ate it cold, too, and it was still really good.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's always good. That's on y'all for leaving so early, man. Everybody knew Buddies was gonna be in the building, man. Y'all was the last ones to know.
Y'all didn't say a damn thing.
Nah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
Got me fucked up. It's all right.
Well, JB, man, let's get into this Pistons conversation, man. We'll kick it off with the video walking down the recap, man. And then I got some other videos that we're going to get into before we get the conversation rolling. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a 48 tough points tonight. But this one, it felt like the refs wanted to steal the show. The Pistons fall 113 to 107, but they fought. But there's only so much you can do. And in this one, it just didn't have enough. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. About to go to the press conference to talk about it. Yeah, and what I want to be able to do now is at least set the stage as it relates to the comments of JB Bickerstaff and one Malik Beasley. But everybody knew what went down. The ejection of Cade Cunningham, kind of the flow of the referees and such, and how they were calling that game. And the Pistons, they received so many texts in that game.
Yeah,
so many different texts in the game. And it was a frustrating night for them. And this is something that we know JB Bickerstaff has talked about a whole lot the entire season. We've talked about sideline JB Bickerstaff. I believe he is the head coach that has the most technical fouls this year, but it's because he's going to fight for his guys.
You damn right.
He's going to fight for them, and that does put them in a little bit of probably an ire with referees maybe. I know that the referees have a very tough job to do out there, but I know that as it relates to how short or they're going to be as it relates to calling technicals on you is probably going to be based on the relationships that they feel they've had prior. And so, it was just a night where ultimately I do believe that the refereeing could have been more balanced and much better, and the NBA tracks this stuff as well. And I'm glad that they do to make sure that the referees are held responsible for their performance. But with the Pistons, it was nice to know that at least Malik Beasley, when he stepped to the podium, he believed that there was more that they could have given.
Yeah.
That despite everything that went down, they still want to be better. And to me, I love the fact that their coach is going to fight for them. And I love the fact that that team, if that's what they're believing, then it also means that those coaches and those vets are the absolute right ones, and that they have continued to be. What in the heck is that?
Yes,
but they've continued.
Justin over here, big ass nose.
I was like, oh, Justin. No, but that they have continued. They've continued though to be tapped in with the message, and I do believe they battled tough, man. They fought.
They did.
OKC Thunder the entire night. SGA popped off for 48, man.
Yeah,
he's a tough cover, but this team showed me something, man.
No, absolutely, bro. And it's just when they play so hard, bro, it gets frustrating at times. And we've brought it up, not just this hasn't been an isolated incident. This has been something ongoing throughout the season. And it's not just Cade. It's the Pistons team as a whole. Make no mistake about it. And, it's all well and good that the referees get reprimanded after the fact. But that's bullshit, bro. I want the effect to be on the floor. Like, that's fine. The problem isn't that you call fouls on the Pistons. You can call as many fouls as you want to on us, but just keep it consistent. Mm-hmm. That's been my problem with the officiating this whole effing season, bro. And it's not a good look when you have a league that has a history of biased officials, that has a history of referees, swaying their officiating decisions based on relationships or based on how a player or coach talks to you. That shit is weak as fuck to me. Like, it's no place for that at this point. And when you have an up and coming team like a Pistons team, you're not doing them any service by swallowing your whistle in what seems to be damn near every game. I mean, Cade's out there taking a beating. Do I not need to bring up the LA Clippers game? You got all the celebrities in the house. James Harden goes to the line for 20 free throws. Cade gets 6. In this game, SGA, he goes to the line 10 times. Cade gets 1 in 48 minutes. Cade gets 1 free throw attempt. And his game is primarily based on getting to the basket. It makes no sense to me, and I'm so glad that JB Bickerstaff went up there and crashed out, because sometimes that's what you got to do to get your message across. And I just hope the NBA going forward fix it on the court, bro. I don't want to hear it in a tweet. I don't want to hear it in a press release. Fix it on the court, bro, because that's where it matters.
That's where it matters most. And you said what needed to be said on that, man. There's so many different feelings that I have, even so much with the perspective of what went down on the play with Stu, which really, really, really tipped the scales over. The Pistons fans were livid. They were loud. They were active. It was awesome looking up even into the top of the stadium and seeing people everywhere, man. Pistons fans showed up and showed out. And you know what I saw? Instead of Pistons fans saying, oh, man, this team can't win, this team can't. You know what I saw Pistons fans say? They were like, you know what? Maybe they needed this, but they fought. Man, I saw something. I was talking to fans in that arena. I was seeing what was going on in the comments. And that, to me, is what's encouraging, is that the fans can see this team is different. And you know what they loved? The fact that JB Bickerstaff is willing to stand up there and fight for their guys.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is what I love. And even for me, like, just to get the perspective of the arena, which influenced, because I thought about, man, do I take down this post or do I not? Because my perspective on it has changed, even though I still don't agree with the outcome. And it's as it related to the play with Isaiah Stewart, Cade Cunningham, Lou Dort, and SGA. Where Cade Cunningham, he hit my man with a little bit of that little hezzy dribble. Mm-hmm. SGA stepped back Lou Dort stepped back way too far, stepped on SGA's ankle, and he fell. Right after that play, though, Jalen Williams and Stewart, they're looking up to try and battle for a rebound. Jalen Williams, he hooks his arm around Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart's trying to get around. He grabs Jalen Williams, and he kind of just shoves him out the way.
Yeah.
And that's where play stops. Now, in the arena, the perspective, and there was no calls or anything like that, you see Lou Dort go down, and all you see after a while of him kind of rolling around, because that's where everyone's attention is the ref blow everything dead, and then he goes right over to Jalen Williams to make sure he's okay. The next thing, no announcements, the very next thing that happens is a review of the play for a hostile act.
Wow.
And LCA loses it. Yeah. Now, what the pool report says, and I have to be fair to the referees, is that the standing call from the minute that they blew the play dead was that it was a loose ball foul on Isaiah Stewart, and we all know a lot of times the second player is the one that's going to get, the retaliator is the one that's going to get called. So listen, we roll with that flow, and that's why I say, even though I don't agree with the outcome, I can understand it. And I do believe if the referees had at least let it be known, listen, there's a loose ball foul on Stewart that's going to stand, but we're just reviewing the play because there's a player down holding his cup area. Yeah. We're just going to review the play. It was a growing, because when we play the play, you're going to see my man got stretched out, and I get it. As a man to man, I don't even care if you're on the opposite team. I get it, bro. I feel for you. But that just, I don't get it. That to me was one of those reputation ones. Stu was in the area. It must have been something.
Yeah, like,
and so they go to review for hostile act, and they say over the thing, hey, listen, it was not a hostile act. He slipped on his own, but Isaiah Stewart foul. The arena lit up.
And we've seen that before.
Because that was the first time we heard that call. Yeah. And they say, wait, y'all went from reviewing, realizing that there was no hostile act, to now there's being a free throw. Free throws come in on this bogus play where you could have called a foul on either Stewart or Jalen Williams. That is where people went crazy, bro, in that arena. And the environment was crazy. And so Cade, what got him thrown out is when he was like, okay, then, if it's a loose ball foul and you're giving them 2 free throws, we're supposed to line up. It's not a tech.
Exactly.
And that's where things got crazy. He's effectively telling the refs, hey, we're supposed to be able to line up. And
in a calm manner, by the way.
In a calm manner, and the ref teed him up. And that's where you can see the motion build, because it's not just that one moment. This has been a seasons-long thing. And for Cade Cunningham, it's been a career-long thing. Yeah. You can look at the fouls he's supposed to get and the fact that, honestly, he's not getting it. Yeah. And that, to me, is the biggest thing. And that's what made JB Bickerstaff crash out as well. And so let's get the plays. And then, so let's get the one that you'll see. It's like a replay with the scoreboard. And then the other one we'll play back-to-back where Cade Cunningham as well is going. But let's play the Isaiah Stewart one, and you can keep the audio up as well, just so people can see. It looks kind of like the replay on the big screen.
I got you.
Right away is where he called a loose ball foul, but then that's when he went back to check on Dort. Yeah. And so nobody in the arena knew that. We're instantly like, I'm even talking to other people in the media, and I'm like, did they just stop a play? Yeah. They're not supposed to call a play dead because someone's hurt. You're supposed to either let the play go to a call or a score or timeout. Yeah. And so that's where we're like, man, so instantly went on there like, yo, this is weird. And I've added more context to that post since. But they did state that they called the loose ball foul right then and there. And I can understand that. I can understand it. You're looking at everything, Dort's down. Then the next thing you look up, Jalen Williams is flying. Like he just got tossed like a rag doll because beef stew is beef stew.
Yeah, but hostile act, like, come on, bro. And that's why I don't like this type of officiating, because you're creating a narrative around somebody like an Isaiah Stewart. He is not a dirty player. Does he play physical? Yes, but he is far from a dirty player. But because of what these refs go out here and do and the way they officiate, they are creating this narrative around somebody like a beef stew, to where, like you said, technically, we don't have anything to go off of, but just because he's over there, we're going to find something. And we've seen, this isn't the only game that this has happened.
Over.
Exactly. There was a game a couple weeks ago where they had to find something to call on beef stew. Like, shit like that is just, it's annoying,
That's
bro.
What it felt like. And that's what influenced it. And that's why I still call speed. The reason why I didn't take it down is because I'm like, look, if the referees want people to be better informed, especially their reporters, then tell us what's going on.
Yes.
The whole arena erupted because of that perspective. And I did say, and that's why I still stand on this, Even though I still think it's the wrong call because the first screenshot you take of their interaction is Jalen Williams' arm all the way around Stewart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just a recipe for disaster. But that's the only way they can try and keep him off the boards. They used to try that stuff with Ben Wallace too. It just is what it is, and they're not calling it.
Yeah.
That's that, and that frustration is going to boil.
And other teams know that. They go out there looking for stuff like that because they know, okay, the Pistons have a bad reputation in the eyes of the refs. So it's easy to get those
Mark
calls.
said it's a soft league, and as usual, people love hating on Michigan, Detroit teams, and that's what JB Bickerstaff went. Oh, we know we got a reputation of being a physical team. We know that too because other coaches are coming into town. And how is Mike Malone able to say, well, I already learned the refs, of the Nuggets. Hey, the Pistons play physical, not with my guy Jokic. How is he able to do that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
How is he able to come into town an hour home, bro, and tell the refs that? That to me is just mind-boggling.
It's crazy.
Go out there and play ball. If it's physical, it's physical. If it's a foul, it's a foul. Now we got the league crying, just like the NFC North crying about the Lions. JB Bickerstaff is one. He is one, dog. When I told you guys, I didn't even want to get heated like this, man. Like, he's a coach's coach, just straight up. We'll see the K play that got him ejected, and then I want the people to hear the audio from JB and Malik Beasley.
He went off, man.
That's where I like the yin and yang because Malik Beasley came in very, very mild-mannered. You could tell he's heated, but he focused on what they needed to do better.
Yeah.
That's all his comments were on, what they needed to do better. And JB Bickerstaff's comments were on what he needed to do to clear a better path for his players to have a fair, more balanced opportunity out there in that court. But let's see the Cade crash out. You know what? And Detroit was for it, man.
Yeah.
Somebody got a free arm sleeve. I think it's a headband online, but somebody got a free arm sleeve as well. So shout out to LCA. At least somebody went home a winner. LCA, look at that, packed, bro, top to bottom.
And somebody tries to get an explanation and you just teeing people up, like that shit is weak to me.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Weak,
and just the other aspect of it, like JB Bickerstaff was there clapping and getting the crowd fired up too, like egging them on, like look. And I get it, like JB Bickerstaff.
If he not gonna stand up for the team, who will? Because it's like, it's atrocious at this point, bro. Like, we've been talking about this shit all year long. And not just, like I said, it's more than just Cade. Yes, Cade is not getting the calls, but overall, this is a Pistons problem. And the way these games are officiated, it's disgusting, bro. And when we just try to get an explanation as to something, you're automatically getting teed up. Like
he wasn't even demonstrative.
Exactly. JB even said it in the press conference. Hey, I'm just trying to get an explanation on something, but you just outright just ignoring me. Like, what type of game are we running here? Like, that's so weak, bro.
Yeah,
I can't get over it.
Let's hear from them. So I want the people to hear the fire over JB Bickerstaff and then Malik. Do you want us to take a quick break, JB Bickerstaff? JB Bickersmooov. JB Bickersmooov. Hey, look, you were the first person to say JB Bickerstaff should be the coach. You were the first person I heard anywhere say that, man. When he wasn't even a candidate. They were already hiring other people or interviewing other people and had leaders. You were the one that were like, nah, they need to look over here.
We can take a quick break and then come back with it. How about that?
Hey, let's do that, man. Let's do that. Who is saying what up, though, too?
Les Stanford.
Hey, Les Stanford Chevrolet, man, and they got deals for you. Some new deals, man. Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone right now. Get a 2024 Envision for only $299 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $229 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV, one of my personal favorites. Only $799 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, LesStanford.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, Woodward Sports is back at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Yes, indeed. Get into our March Bracket Challenge powered by Jugga in neurosurgery, and if you have the biggest basketball brain, get the first place prize and win up to $1,000. Stick $1,000.
$1,000.
$1,000. But if you don't get the first place prize, second place prize is also good as well too. A weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf.
Mimosas.
Brunch, people.
And golf.
Brunch.
And golf. Hey, if you don't get second, third place is good too. 2 club seats to the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories out in Troy. You can pre-register. Well, actually, you can register now as it is. Just go do it. WoodwardSportsBracket.com. Then Selection Sunday has already passed, so I'm pretty sure you have an idea of who you want to win in mind as well too. But head over to WoodwardSportsBracket.com right now and register. Powered by the best in the game, Jugga Nathan Neurosurgery.
You all right with that word?
And Woodward
Dr.
Sports.
Jugs.
Dr. Jugs.
Dr. Jugs.
No, they don't do boobs. Stop asking
I know,
me.
he missed the shot, man.
Hey, look, guys, we got Michael Woodward. Welcome back, y'all. We got the link in the chat. Go ahead, fill out that link. Give yourselves an opportunity to be one of these. At some point in time, Stick, we're gonna just have to put out how many like giveaway winners, man. Just continue to update those numbers, like McDonald's.
Keep adding to the
how
promo.
many served?
Keep building on the promo.
An hour-long promo.
Soon it's gonna be its own 2-hour show. So hey, shout out to you guys though for making this platform what it is, and we're grateful to be able to have these types of giveaways for you all. So multiple things going on as well. Follow us on socials so that you guys do not miss a thing. But let's get back into these Detroit Pistons. And you know what? The chat family's been fired up about this as well. I'm seeing people that are like, yo, Cade is a star who's not getting a star type treatment. And I know how that hits for us as Pistons fans and Detroit sports fans, because we've largely see our teams, if they're going to win, have to do it without some of the biases that as fans we perceive. And they've had to, and that's what makes it even so much more that when they do punch through and then they win, we know that it's against every single uphill battle possible. And it takes a certain type of player to be able to do that. And they have to, whether they're originally from here or not, they still have to jive with what's made Detroit great. And that to me is what's awesome about these players. All of them now playing their home games, Woodward Ave, in the city, all of them being guys who want to be here. You know, and that to me is what made it so much more impactful and meaningful when Beasley stepped to the podium. But we got to give the people what they want.
We do.
We got to give them first JB Bickerstaff. So I say JBSmooovv. JB Bickerstaff at the podium, man. The press conference, let's just say it was short and spicy. I can't say sweet.
What do you say to you guys after a game like this?
I'm extremely proud of the way they continue to compete. I'm disgusted by the way that game was officiated. The level of disrespect was above and beyond. They have a guy fall down and trip on his own teammate's foot. They review us for a hostile act. They throw an elbow to our chest, neck area. I ask for them, at least take a look at it, right? Just show us the respect to take a look at it, okay? No one would take a look at it. Okay, the disrespect has gone far enough, and I'm not going to allow our guys to be treated the way that they were treated tonight. Okay, I tried to have a conversation with official. The official was arguing with Mark I say his name one time, and he screams at me and tells me that's enough. Right? We understand that we play a style of ball that's physical, it's on the edge. Right? I coach my ass off with a passionate way. I'm into the games. Our players are into the games. We understand that. Right? But we deserve a level of respect because we're competing our tails off and bringing something positive to this league. Right? We're growing young players. Our young players are competing their tail off. The least that they could do is get the same respect that everybody else in this league gets and get refereed the same way that everybody else in this league gets ref. And enough is enough of it. And what you saw tonight was disgusting. It was a disgusting display of disrespect towards our guys and what we're trying to do.
Whew. That's my coach.
Damn skip.
That's my coach.
Fuego.
That's my coach.
Fuego. Jesus
Straight
Christ.
flames. And you know what? Because I see people in the chat. You know, obviously, I like Mark. I like Matthew Kruger. I do. Because he's a contrarian. And I like that sometimes because it stretches the bounds of how we think and even how we debate. Is it just a Detroit thing, Matthew Kruger, to cry about the refs regardless of the sport? My response is it an outside of Michigan sports thing to cry about the physicality that our Detroit sports teams bring to their respective sports?
Yeah.
I'm hearing the NFC North cry about the physicality and trying to, Matthew Stafford, it's on tape, it's on tape. Matthew, where are you at with those perspectives? Because when the bad boys won, it was because they beat the crap out of you within the lines of the game. And what did they do back then? They cried. Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Everyone's cried.
Even
LeBron
he'll
James
tell you.
Cried. These guys are crying. They're crying. But no one ever talks about that crying. In sports, we're talking about a coach who's saying, I just need it fair and balanced. And guess what? There's stats to back up what he's saying, Matthew Kruger. So it's just like, if you're going to bring this to the table, let's just make sure we're all fair and balanced, because I will address it. They didn't say that. They didn't say that the referees cost them the game.
Yeah, they didn't.
And you know what? Their players are saying that they need to be better. That's why I'm so glad we have the antithesis, the yin and the yang. The coach is supposed to go out there and protect his players.
Absolutely.
The coach, because Mike Malone, he did what? He came here and cried about what? He came here about the league MVP.
Already, before the game even started.
Where's that in the chat? I didn't hear anybody. I cover it. I see it. I don't even cover that team. But when they come here, my ears are open to everything. So when I see that type of comment in the chat, it's just like, you're only playing realistically with a quarter of the information, and are you being aloof to the other 3/4 of the information that you don't seem to necessarily care about?
Right.
And that's why JB Bickerstaff has to talk the way he does. That's why this platform exists, because nobody else is talking about it.
Exactly.
I grew up as a sports fan with nobody talking about it, nobody caring, because we didn't have really the voices or anything to move. Do you know how many views is even on the post of this replay right now?
How many?
500,000.
Woo!
That wasn't going on before, but you know who was getting those views before? The Lakers.
Yep.
Because we can win a championship, and guess what's going to happen right after? Oh, man, what did the Lakers not do? Dude, I stayed up all night to watch Sports Center. And y'all not even going to talk about the champs? Man, F this.
Get your
so,
shit
no,
off.
man, so when we get the opportunity to actually say fair should be fair, that's what we're going to do. How many years as Lions fans did they just send us the stupid apology letter?
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. When they even admit, oops, Detroit versus everybody, and then they feed more into the narrative. How many letters? To the point that I remember when Woodward Sports started, we would make up the fake apology letters, and then they would almost word for word be the same letters they would send us after they screwed us. So that's why I'm just like, no, listen, you don't ever want your team to feel like the refs are the reason why they win or they lose. But as a coach, you got to go to bat for your squad. And that's what JB Bickerstaff did. And you know what else he did? He's also making sure that they're well coached.
Yep.
He's also making sure that they're buying into the message. He's also making sure that they are ahead of schedule.
And
He's
he
also
holds
making
them
sure that they're
accountable.
blasting through everyone's expectations. And he stepped to the podium even in wins and said, this team didn't play to the standard.
Exactly.
So that's where, if he's going to talk about the referees, guess what? I'm going to actually be like, I'm going to listen to what he's saying. Because when Monty did it, it was like, but Monty, you're not even doing the things necessary to put your players in the right position to even have this argument or this fight. And remember, Monty tried. It's not right. You know, they need to be better. And then he just left the podium.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any foundation to build that on. JB Bickerstaff is a successful head coach in this league who's built up multiple teams from obscurity to like playoffs, not even just play-ins. And so that's where it changes for me. If his team was stepping to the podium saying, we need the refs, then we would have a little bit of a different conversation. But let's get Malik Beasley's comments so we can see what his players actually believe.
What did you see from the team tonight that allowed them to put that run together, after K was ejected?
Honestly, I feel like we did a great job of controlling the game in terms of how many techs we had. Obviously, when you get a 6-point swing with the ball back again, it's tough. But we gotta be better, mentally, as a whole, including myself.
And that was it. Mark Royal said Pistons need to stop crashing out. The technical fouls lost them that game. There was a foul on Stu, and Cade was crashing out after, and that's what he said. He stepped to the podium, and what did he say? And that's why I'm glad they got these vets who have been there in these positions.
Yeah.
Malik Beasley has been a part of special teams and part of special runs in this league, and he stepped to the table and said, what? Hey, we got to be better. I thought that we still gave ourselves a good chance despite the techs, but we cost ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point of it that I love. We have to be better, including myself, because we know Malik is going to be one of your louder people on that team. He's going to be one of your vocal guys. He's just pushed himself into effectively that number 2 on the team, even off of the bench, and he stepped to the podium and he took self-responsibility. That's the reason why I am fired up about everything that went down with this squad and exactly how JB Bickerstaff did it and exactly what the players are saying. I have not heard the players step to the podium, and I have not had any media interaction with them, even when referees were a thing where I've heard this team crater and say, well, the refs are costing us. No, they say there's still things we know we could do better. And that, to me, is a sign of a well-coached team, of a team that's stepping into maturity, and a team that we can see. Both, hey, I sent you guys, I think I sent it to the social group, the Pistons still over the last 10 games are your number 5 net overall team in the entire league. And they're top 5 defensively and offensively. Like, these are things to be championed about. These are things to cry aloud about. As it relates to the things that we project here. If we're going to try and say, well, why are they crying about the refs? Is anybody actually looking at what this Pistons team is doing? They are playing so far and above any way that the referees are going to even be able to affect them. This team has 37 wins right now with an opportunity to finish the season above 500. 37 wins. Do you know how many games they got to win to get there? Just 5. That's what gets them above 500 on this season. And so that's where I'm just like, listen, guys, they won 14 games last year. Well, largely this young core is still the same core. And
it wasn't a lot of changes.
Taking a huge, they just added in some vets who most people still complain about.
Yeah.
And look at the jump that they've taken. So, yes, if I'm JB Bickerstaff, we see Mike Malone, he gets to come and say it in a pregame press conference, I already talked to the refs.
I bet you did.
JB Bickerstaff said, I tried to talk to the ref. He yelled at me and gave me a tech. So, yes, you do need to be able to bring some type of attention to how things are going on. Because what happened in that game? They allowed Jokic to do whatever he wanted, and he got one of the most insane triple-double lines I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And they couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
So, no, that's not basketball, Matthew Kruger. That's not basketball, bro. And when a coach is able to come in and dictate that against what the actual flow of the game is supposed to be,
before the game even starts.
That's like, before the game. That's a
come
problem.
on, man.
And
Like,
just know that this has happened against our other teams, like the Lions. That to me is where it's just like, no, I'm going to keep the same energy 100. The league is crying about the physicality we're bringing, and for whatever reason, this thing is affecting what is going on the floor between these two teams and how the referees are calling the flow of the game.
And
that's just real.
It's borderline costing them games. But notice none of the fans, even the ones that are super invested, nobody said that those fouls cost the Pistons the game. We all hold this team to a certain standard, and they hold themselves to that standard too. They not just out here bitching and moaning for no reason. Did you see the passion on JB Bickerstaff? Like in that fucking press, I felt it through the screen, bro. That is a man that has dealt with this through almost 82 games of basketball, and enough is enough, bro. It's on my Owen Hart shit, man. Rest in peace. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Like, come on, bro. What are we talking about? And Matthew Kruger, have you been living under a rock, bro? This has been going back to 80s Pistons with Jordan. Right. I'm about to choke on this shit. Man, I'm about to choke over this shit. But fuck it. Yeah, bro, this goes back to 80s/90s Pistons with Jordan. This goes back to the 04 Pistons with the Kobe and Shaq-led Lakers. And it's current day as well, man. We all know what this is. SGA, he's the best player in the NBA right now, probably your MVP. OKC, the best team in the league. Of course they go. They battled them, but of course they're going to get the benefit of the whistle because it's the Pistons. It's a medium market. They're just on they are on the rise, but we don't need to show them that respect just yet. That shit is so weak to me, man. And these players play way too hard to have refs take the game out of their hands, and that's what we don't appreciate as fans. And when it's just clear and it's blatant, like you see the scratches on K, like this thing is going far enough, bro. And I'm so glad that JB Bickerstaff is standing up for this, bro, because they're not a team that just out here just whining and crying for no reason. They take accountability, but this is enough, bro.
Yeah, and you know what, the Pistons, they have to win. There are some handle your business games on the schedule ahead, and there are some pretty tough games on the schedule ahead. And this is where you really want to see them starting tonight. Take out the 18-win Pelicans. I'm sorry, you just have to.
Yeah.
These are must-wins. You have the Heat, which has been bumped up to prime time, and I know they're on the road, but you want to still see them handle their business. But they got the Pelicans twice. They have the Mavericks. They have the Spurs with no Wemby. Those have to be dubs. I'm sorry, those have to be dubs, and that gets them to 41. That gets them to 500. And then the back half of the schedule in April, you got the Raptors. You got to beat them. I'm sorry. That gets you to at least your 42, and from there, it's on whatever the Pistons do.
House money
at this point in time. But just wanted to be able to give people a perspective of what they're facing. They have 7 games in April, and left in the month of March, they have 6 games left. So we are right on the cusp. Atlanta has made a little bit of a charge too. When we talk about the standings, they still sit 5 games back of the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
But the Pistons has drifted just a little further back of that number 3 seed. And they are 1 game back of Indiana for the 5th seed, 1.5 games back from Milwaukee in the 4th seed.
Yeah, it's looking good, man. It's looking good. And just real quick to Mark Royal, you know this, KG, and the Pistons know this. This is why you don't crash out and play ball. Nothing will change. The bad boys won, and the going to work Pistons won because they didn't crash out and balled. And to a degree, I agree with you.
Wallace was pretty.
Yeah, but come on, he led the league in text. Like, let's not act like they didn't crash out. And listen, this is an emotional game. Emotions play a factor.
Had the malice at the palace.
Exactly, bro.
They crashed out.
And Mark Royal, I can somewhat agree with that because, yes, they do need to mature through things like this. They are still a young team. They are learning this on the fly. This iteration of the Pistons hasn't had to deal with this at the highest levels.
With these stakes.
Exactly.
On the
That's
line.
what I mean. So while I understand what you're getting at, and yes, to a degree, you're right, let's not act like these other teams didn't crash out in the past, bro. What's right is right, bro. You got to just call it the way it's supposed to be called. Like I said, nobody has a problem with the calls you're making on the Pistons. It just has to be consistent.
Has to be consistent, man. So, hey, you know what, JB? I know we went a little
we
long,
went over.
man.
Yeah, I knew this was going to go.
That was a little bit past in there, huh?
Of course, man. Yeah.
But what about you, Voice of Reason, man? Anything to clean up as it relates to super chats as well as your take on these Pistons?
Oh, yeah, definitely got some super chats to clean up. Shout outs to everyone sending in those super chats as well, too. $9.99 from Dante151. Man, I'm so sick and tired of this BS that NBA ref does to my Detroit Pistons. What they do to teams who play hard is ridiculous. Also, K gets fouled damn near every single time and nothing. And also shout out to Burns, $5 as well too. He sent in, he said, they'll never love you, Detroit. Stop bending over to try and get their approval and doing it their way. Detroit moves in its own way. And I kind of got to agree with him on that as well too. Hey,
yeah,
I respect JB Bickerstaff for once again crashing out during that press conference. Obviously, he's probably going to get fined as well too for crumbling up the piece of paper, slamming his fist on the table, but he's passionate about it. He's passionate about his team and his players as well too.
Yeah.
NBA refs, you got to do better. Like, if you're going to hold these coaches and these players accountable, start holding the refs accountable as well too. If you see a bad, egregious call out there, someone needs to step in and make something happen.
And Burn, just to push back a little bit, I don't think they trying to fit into what the NBA wants them to be. They are their own entity, but the crazy part is they play the right way.
Yeah, they're doing it based on what the rules allow.
You know, the NBA supposedly loves teams that play the right way. That's why they love Jokic so much. He's a star that does it the right way. K does the same thing.
And what have they done after each time the Detroit Pistons went on some runs? What did they do after the bad boys runs? They changed the rules.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do after
every
the
time
they changed the rules? Why? Because they were playing within the rules, and they continue to try and shade things towards, well, we can't have our stars be neutralized. Well, then why don't you start to actually make stardom players that play the right way.
Exactly.
Like, it just is what
that
it
you
is,
claim
bro.
to love so much.
Hey, you know, Hoof Hearted, one of my favorite chat names, he says, asking for fairness and accountability from the refs isn't crashing out. If anything, it was the refs that crashed out. That's a great point.
Thank you.
To wrap that up.
Thank you. Well said.
Well,
and I see you, Burn. I see you was talking to the fans, but I'm just offering a little pushback because I don't think they trying to fit into anybody's narrative. Right. No hate against you, Burn. You know you good. You good people up here.
Yep. And I see we got and Matthew Kruger too, man. Like I respect, like I said, I respect his takes, and I believe that he helped to be able to add a little bit more passion to the segment than even I thought was gonna be there. So definitely shout out to everybody who got their comments in. I thought everything was respectful and in the lines.
Yeah.
And I see the Real K77. He sent in a $4.99 super chat to say, "Great show, WUW Crew."
Hey, appreciate
Thank
it, K.
you, man.
My
Thank
dog.
you. Thank you, man. Hey, JB, do we have anything else to clean up for our sponsors, and then we'll just break down?
Yeah, Mark White and Feldman.
Mark White gonna do you right. Mark White and Associates, man. Hey, you know what it is, bro. Dreaming of a new home, but I know you feeling that financial pinch. Eggs is $21. What are we gonna do?
Lord.
But Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help you. Mark White and his team will pay for up to $5,000. That's right, 5,000 smackaroos if you call today, 248-290-8242, or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, in Sam Flannel voice. Call Mark White today, 248-290-8242, or go to markwhitesales.com to make those housing dreams come true.
And Feldman.
And Feldman Automotive. Mad I had to double read, but it is what it is. Feldman Automotive, Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. And they are six-peating right now, man. Six consecutive years of being being on top of their game, man. And they got some nice deals of the month for you all. You can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 crew cab for just $199 per month. Wow, that's pretty cheap. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for $249 a month. Come see George Halls and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
Hey, and you know what? I think that is a show. Go Blue again.
Yes, sir. Nice comeback.
For the Sparties out there, man. Shout out to you guys getting your 2C, JBSmooovv. I am happy for you.
Hey.
Guys like Spinny and Platty. Who else? Sean Beligia.
Man.
I'm happy for you guys.
I got a feeling we're going to see him in the dance.
I got a feeling too. It's gonna be a good tournament.
That will definitely be a watch party.
Oh, yeah. Have to.
Sitting over here, seeing my guy Justin in the building too, man. It's been an awesome show. Be able to have our brother Flannel Sam to drop by, our Red Wings correspondent, All Sports Nowhere, veteran squad and network. It's definitely awesome to have him come through and be able to talk about that Michigan victory.
Yes, sir.
Big Ten tournament champions for 2025. And Chat Family was on one as well. They were engaging. They were smashing a like button. I'm hoping that you guys also made sure to click on that link, get in your March Madness bracket, and hey, give yourself a chance to win either cash, Detroit basketball tickets. I gotta make sure I say that right. Shout out to KG's hat. What was that? Pistons hat.
Yeah.
And or a trip to Grand Traverse, which is just always a great time. I see you just in case. Great show as always.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for all the support. We definitely appreciate it. Kavasi Chase is in the building working hard. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder. I saw him step into the chats for a little bit today. Hoping life is great and that the job is going well.
Yeah, we miss you.
Yeah, we definitely miss him in person. I'm glad that he stays tapped in with us though. In the sound booth, Willie B with the red hoodie. What up, though?
Yes, indeed. What's me, man? It's good way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, man. Hope everybody is well. Hey, man. Nothing like a good time, man. We're gonna come in Birmingham to see y'all and do the show, man. We keep making the most of it. Let's go with it.
Let's go, Willie
St.
B,
Patty's
man.
Day is white people's Cinco de Mayo, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shout out back, dog, man. I met this guy. I forget what the process was, but he goes, "What's your name, brother?" And I was like, "Brandon." What's your name? I was like, "Dan." He's like, "You're English." Oh, it was the same time. I'm like, you know what? In the TD booth. Shout out to JBSmooovv, who was Sports MVP, man. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone in the chat. Everyone's celebrating. Be safe out there today. Have fun, but also just remember to be safe as well, too. Raw on Netflix is at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Yes,
super early, but you can always catch the replay later on today. 20-year anniversary today. John Cena themed The Time Is Now theme song, so hopefully it's going to change tonight.
He got to come out with something different, bro. Come out with a heel theme song for the one time, bro.
I hope so. I really do hope so. Also, shout out to Josh Berry winning over the weekend out in Vegas. I know me and Chase will probably cover it for our gearheads tomorrow. And
fast and loose.
Fast.
Loose and fast.
Let's get prepared for this tournament that is about to happen because it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Hey, we got that dude Justin in the building. I'm excited for what he and Flannel are doing with Woodward Wings. It's now a part of our what's going to be growing weekend content. Shout out to you guys, man. At first, we wanted to pilot it with the memberships, and you guys have done such a great job that they said, let's bring this on a part of the weekend content. So every Saturday at 10 a.m., you guys can catch the latest Woodward Wings. And I know that you guys are going to be doing lives and other content as well. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you guys for being here today, all of you. I'm so blessed to be able to walk into an office on a random day, coming home from school and having such a great time with such great people. So shout out to you, shout out to chat. And then shout out to the PWHL, the Pro Women's Hockey League. They took over LCA last night and set the record for most United States attendance for a women's hockey game last night at LCA. So shout out to the PWHL. And then shout out the Wings. They got a huge win against the Golden Knights yesterday, 3-0. Peter Mrazek shined, and all of our young players, Raymond, Johansson, and Casper, all played well. So great game for the Red Wings. Hopefully they're 2 points within a playoff spot, so the playoffs are still in possibility. Hopefully we're just there till the end. And let's go Red Wings, and shout out to PWHL.
Hey, let's go Red Wings.
hey, wifey on my ass real quick. Wifey, say something to the people real quick.
No, don't get shy.
You're right. Don't get shy now. It's all good, man. It's all good. But hey, man, appreciate it, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat tapped in with us, and shout out to my team. Love y'all. Let's keep it rolling, bro.
Hey, look, he just blew. He didn't even let me introduce him. Detroit's number one.
Oh shit! I thought you did.
Rookie of the year.
I got bigger problems. Clearly, I got bigger problems right now.
Get that chest back.
Got you. Swish.
And I feel like we make a great team out there too, man.
We would, man. When we not bitter rivals, bro, we good on the team up. I'm all defense, bro.
I've been getting in shape.
I'm all street ball defense. So
let's go. Let's go. I'm so ready to go and take advantage of this summer in the great state of Michigan. It's gonna be a good time. It's your boy Brandon, the AK Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. We appreciate you guys too, man. If you haven't got the opportunity to, go ahead and smash that like button.
Smash that.
Most importantly, have a great day, y'all. Thank you for helping us kick ours off. Go wake up Woodward.
Like after I saw, the top 15 black wrestlers of all time list.
Yes.
Surprisingly, I don't think this is the worst list in the world. Although we got to talk about some people that was left off.
Some of these names,
Yeah. So who do you think is the biggest snub?
Jay Lethal.
That's another name that should absolutely be in this list.
Go.
I mean, come on, we talking about Black Machismo, bro. He imitated Randy Savage, dog. And it worked. Not only that, bro, he had the greatest promo with Ric Flair of all time. The woo off, bro. Bro, the woo off was fucking crazy, bro. But